What up? This is Robert Horry.
Horry, three-pointer. Buries it.
You might know me as Big Shot Bob.
To Horry for three. Oh, unbelievable. This guy is off the charts.
What's going on, Big Shot Bob?
Robert Horry from downtown.
Well, we've done this 223 times. It is the Big Shot Bob podcast. That is B-Dog, Brandon Harper. My name's Rob Jenners. That, soon to be joined by a guest this week, is seven-time NBA champion Robert Horry. And yeah, we get the privilege of hanging out with Matt Barnes a little bit today, which I think is pretty cool, man. Why are you giggling?
Because I was just reading your text message.
Oh, yeah. Let's start a few minutes early before Matt gets on. Yeah, I'm good with that. Are you, though? Are you, though?
I was good with that, but the people in my household, they were not good with that.
Here he is. Classic diva blame shifting. Here we go.
They gonna point the finger at everybody else.
That's how it goes, man. That's how it goes. She didn't pass the ball. I get it. I can't score if you don't pass. I get it.
Exactly.
How are you, man? What's going on?
Man, everything is good. I had a first last night. I took my mom and my stepdad to the Dodgers game. They had never been, so that was interesting.
That's cool. Oh, Mama's in town now.
Yeah, Mom came back with me from Alabama, so she said I needed a vacation.
That's cool.
Vacation?
From what?
I said, you've been retired for 20 years.
Nah, what that mean, you know what that means. She need to change the scenery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what that means.
Get me out of Andalusia for 5 minutes.
I would assume. Now, this is just my assumption and, my love for geography. But I would assume L.A. looks a little different than Andalusia. Maybe. I could be completely wrong.
It's a fair assessment, I think. It's pretty fair.
Man, we got Andalusia got everything L.A. got.
Does it now?
Dirt.
Yeah. It takes me 45 minutes, maybe 50 minutes to get from here to the beach. From my hometown, it takes me 45 minutes to 50 minutes to get to the beach.
Now let me ask you.
They ain't got that. We ain't got.
Now, let me ask you a follow-up question. We all know that all beaches ain't created equal. Now,
first of all, let me just say this: the beaches down in Piccolo, Fort Walton Beach, are way better than the beaches out here. Way better.
Okay, maybe. Okay.
I think that's probably fair.
Florida beaches are different than California beaches.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about the city in general.
You ain't got to talk about the city, man.
Well, but that's where we started. That's what I'm saying.
When's the last time you took your mom to an Andalusia Dodgers game? You know what I mean? I'm just saying.
Well, we might go. My little niece, she was in the playoffs, but they lost. But
well, that's the
Dodgers
same
lost
as the
too last night.
Yeah.
Dodgers lost last night too. So
who the hell Dodgers play last night? I wasn't even paying attention.
St. Louis.
Oh, the Cardinals. Okay.
Cardinals.
Yeah. They're not bad. They're pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've bailed completely on baseball here. We've given up entirely.
Why?
What do you mean, why?
The Braves have not been anywhere. Well, they've been.
We're
at
7
500.
games back of the Marlins. What do you mean, why? Like, what are you talking about?
They've been barely above 500 this whole season. They've been fighting an uphill battle all season.
Yeah, we were above 500 for like 3 minutes, and then it was like, roll.
Yep.
Just a dumpster fire. But hey, we won the Speedway Classic, so they got a trophy for the Speedway Classic. And we know how much Rob loves trophies for meaningless games. But as far as it goes for us, that might as well be the in-season tournament as far as we're concerned. We got a trophy, and we're going to hold that thing up, and we're going to tell our kids this was the 2025 World Series championship.
Might as well be.
That's what we're going to tell our kids.
Just show them the rings. That's all you got to say. Just show them the rings.
Yeah, but, hey, look, the way the expectations this team had and coming into this season and where we are now.
Horrible.
Opposite ends of the spectrum.
Oh, it was horrible. Absolutely horrible. Well, look, Matt is going to join us here in a few minutes. We kind of talked about it last week. We'll get Matt's take on it, too, when he gets on. We kicked around the fact that the Serbian news tried to break Luka's story. And then you guys were both ended up being right. He got the 3-year deal. He went for the 3-year extension. Yeah. 3 years, $165 million. In 2028, he becomes eligible for the huge deal, the massive $417 million.
$82 million a year.
That's it. What'd you say, Rob? It's the race to 82, right?
It's a race to 82.
But like we said, Rob, somebody's going to be re-up during that time he's in this extension to where he's not going to be the first to that. Because, like I said, you got Wemby, you got Ant-Man. One of them are going to be the ones to end up.
You think Greek Freak could beat them all?
You think he gets 80?
I don't know, man. That's what I'm asking.
I don't
guess,
know.
And we again, I don't want to get too far into the weeds with this stuff before Matt comes on, but the stuff with Giannis right now, is that going to be all that Milwaukee can really do to try and keep him there? Is just, you know what, we're going to back up the truck. You take whatever you want off it. If it's 82, you take your 82. Just stay. Because I don't know if they've put really much in place to, like, entice him to stay. And I know everything with him right now, according to, like, Shams and all these other reporters, is up in the air, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, because this contract ends at 27, 28. So he think about it. He's still playing at a high level.
Yeah, he is.
If you take the top 5 players in the league, he's top 5. And he can do so many different things. You talk about players who play basketball. And what I mean by that is they give it y'all on both ends of the floor. He's one of the only few that are left. So he's going to demand a lot.
Yeah, no, look, I think just from a standpoint of him, having Milwaukee in the palm of his hands, from the standpoint of what they've been able to do or the lack of what they've been able to do to build something around him, they may have to up the, if that wasn't an original number that he could get, they may have to up the ante in some way, shape, form, or fashion to get him to there to say, hey, look, we'll break the bank for you because, it's you or is nothing else. Because let's be honest, I don't know what else they could possibly do.
What else is there to do?
There's nothing else they can do. It didn't work with Dame. It didn't. It did not work with Dame. You don't have a championship caliber team built around Giannis right now, and I don't see any other moves that could particularly be made that can have him looking like, dang, I didn't see that move coming. I don't see anything that could possibly happen without, because let's be honest, they got a lot of money on the books from players that aren't going to be on the team this year. They stretch provision Damian Lillard for the next 4 seasons. You got a lot of dead money. You got a lot of dead cap.
Yeah, Milwaukee's not in a good spot. Can I ask both of you a question too? And I don't know if we've really gotten into it. Why do you think that didn't work with them? Oh, here comes Matt too. You're gonna ask Matt the same question. the Lillard Giannis thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just don't think they were good enough. You always think it's 2 players, but it takes a fucking team, man. And you look at that team, it was boo-boo. They didn't have enough to compete. And if everybody always talk about the superstars and how much money they make and what they do. But if you got 2 superstars, those other 13 players can't come through for you, can't lock someone up, can't knock down a shot, you ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, but is that basically all it was then? It just boils down to that, basically?
Because if you think about that crew they had, and to me, I always, I look at guys like Lopez. Everybody is so keen on Lopez. I don't want a fucking big that's going to, think about those years when they need him. He didn't block no fucking shots.
Yeah.
He just started blocking shots a year before he got up out of there. Mm-hmm. And he just want to sit on the outside and shoot threes. And then it's like you got a big that's inconsistent from 3, but thinks he's fucking Steph Curry. And the team just wasn't good to me. They didn't have enough to take him to the top.
How you guys doing? I walked into a good conversation, it sounded like.
Yeah, we were getting into a Milwaukee question, and you pop right in. So I think it's the perfect question for you to answer.
We're trying to figure out what the hell is going on there, because it doesn't seem like anybody really knows at this point. And what my question to Robin and Brandon was like, what is Milwaukee going to have to do to keep him? Because if it's just back up the truck, all right, then back up the truck.
We froze.
Yeah.
I think Matt froze.
Yeah, Matt froze. Yeah. He fucking with us one.
Okay. I'm on.
Yeah, we got you back.
Yeah.
Okay. So if it froze right before you asked that question, what was the question?
I asked Rob and I asked Brandon, just like we were talking about the Giannis situation, because it doesn't seem like anybody knows what the hell's going on with him. What's Milwaukee got to do at this point? Like, what do you do to keep him? Because if it's just back up the truck, then it's back up the truck, right?
I don't think you can keep him, to be honest with you. This is not the day and age where superstars really sit around and go through rebuilds. And I think he's always been so loyal to a fault, not to a fault. He's always been so loyal. But for the first time, we're starting to see him talk about maybe it's time. Maybe I'm going to buy a house in New York. I like New York. So he's kind of flirting around with it. But I heard for the bulk of the conversation, I think a lot of teams make the mistakes of getting rid of key role players after they win. I feel like Denver did it. I feel like Milwaukee did it. And you think you can, like Rob Bob said, if you're top heavy, your depth and your role players have to be on point, and you have to have a lot of.
We lost your audio, bud.
Your audio. Hey man, you got enough money? Get rid of that cricket phone.
Oh no, shit! I just had a call on this shit. Can you guys hear me, Gail?
Yeah.
No, this is. Come on, man. This is what it's supposed to be. No, my son dropped my computer in the pool right before I left out of town, so I haven't had a chance to get one back. So I'm on my phone.
Outstanding.
It's all good.
He probably was bringing you the computer to show you something. Look, Dad, look what I found.
And dropped it right in the pool. I said, no way.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, Matt's one of the hosts of All the Smoke, a show we've been a fan of for a long time. Matt, you actually are part of our show on a regular basis.
Oh, really?
And I don't think you realize it is because a while back, you posted something on Instagram that we played on the show, which I'm going to bring back for a minute. This was when, I guess, were you moving? I don't know what was going on, but you had a possum cornered in your house.
Shit.
And it was this moment.
Hey, got a motherfucker in the house. I don't know what bro's trying to do. Came in the old house and he's here thugging it. So I made a little box area where you could just run right outside. I don't want no problems. You can't go this way. All you can do is peacefully run out, bro. So what we gonna do here? Do possums jump? Anybody know?
Yeah, they do.
Fuck out of here, bro. Oh, he's just standing tall. He's not even moving when I hit him with shit. Get the fuck out of here. Fuck out of here, bro. I'm gonna get a golf club and swing on his ass.
So
I'll tell you, I was a lot tougher because the camera was rolling. I was scared to death. That thing was hissing at me.
Dude.
That thing was big. I don't mess with rodents like that. The guns were at the new house already, so I just had to kind of try to get this dude out, man.
Yeah, so every now and then you pop up on the show.
Get the fuck out of here.
Every now and then, occasionally just jump up on the show for no good reason.
I love it.
Yeah.
Hey man, look, the epitome of man versus beast and man versus nature, bro.
That's all it is. I ain't losing that one.
So
I don't know about the gorilla, but I ain't losing it to a possum.
well, gotta be 100 of us.
We were just talking about me going back to Alabama. See what happens when you grow up in Alabama? You see possums all the time. Like, yo, man, let me just get this broom and just shoo him out. People from the California, like, what the fuck am I gonna do with this possum?
Yeah, no clue.
You just take a broom and swat his ass out.
No clue. He had teeth and hissing. I could feel I could smell the rabies coming off him. I didn't want no problem.
Yeah. We like that in Atlanta too. It's a lot of them around.
Yeah, I'm cool.
We got a few. Were you surprised at all by the Luka extension, the 3-year deal? I think Rob was kind of calling that early on.
No, I think that was coming, and I think he opts out of that third and gets that 400 plus. And I think the Lakers, for the first time, and I love LeBron, but this is what's best for them. And I think for LeBron is at kind of a crossroads for himself right now, because since he was young, he's been the biggest thing in every single room, and he's been the most catered to and well deserved. Don't get me wrong, well deserved. But now, 41, 42, year 22, 23, like. The writing is on the wall, and for them to really switch gears and start focusing on what's next. Obviously, I thought that trade was last year. I think they caught some chemistry and got hot, but I felt like this team, like we're going to see the best Lakers we've seen a little bit just in the next couple years, I feel like. But yeah, so it's probably hard for Bron right now to kind of really swallow that he's been asking for this, but it's actually here and it's happening, and Luka's embracing it and he's getting in shape and really ready to meet the match. So to me, this next, and I hope he's handled everything in his career with grace, so I hope he continues to do such here. But him not being at the thing was a little, because he's out here golfing, he's got that golf bug. I feel that, but he should have probably been there. So it's going to be interesting to see. But I think the extension, I think we all knew that was coming, and I think he takes the first 2 years and opts out that third and gets that big boy.
Yeah. I want to know when guys, when they started, signing their contracts, where their teammates started coming to their signings. When my era
wasn't like that, right?
Sign, good for you.
Congrats.
I ain't coming to watch you sign.
But also, Rob, back when we played, the money wasn't this big. Big money means a lot of people got to be around.
Hey, but at that time, you think about when Big Dog was making more than Milwaukee was worth, and then you see all these guys signed, like when Shaq signed his deal. Hey man, just buy me a Rolex so we have to
something. No, you're right. It didn't used to be the norm.
Yeah, the teams. I will say I'm happy that guys are out supporting their teammates now, because even though we supported our teammates. You think about it, in the summertime, we were all somewhere. We weren't in the city training like they do. We did. Number one, we didn't have the facilities, and number two, we all had our routines and our families in another state, whatnot. So. I'm glad these guys are coming out and trying to support. That's probably another way they'd probably do it. And say, "Yo, Luke, I came to support. Keep me on the team."
Come on, man.
Everyone knows guys that was at their press conference was. They might be up out of there by the time the season starts.
Hey, there's a new sheriff in town, so you got to get in good with him.
When you start talking about a new sheriff in town, obviously we know that the majority stake of the Lakers has new ownership. Obviously, Genie's still around as the governor, but as far as a lot of the decision makings, you kind of pass that on to somebody new. And when you start looking at some of the old guard that was brought in by Jeannie Buss and her family, when you start looking at Rob Pelinka, he's held that job down for quite some time. But when you start having a new ownership and a new guard in, at what point do you start looking at, hey, bro, we appreciate your time, but we want to go in a new direction? How much time do you think he has as the Lakers GM?
If I was a betting man, not much, especially considering that the new ownership group has Magic as a part of it. And, we all know, and not to give out, too much, we know that him and Rob kind of butted heads, you know what I mean? But if you look back and see what Magic did, I mean, the young core of young guys he was able to draft was impressive. So, Rob's been on the hot seat a few times through his tenure. And obviously I think this was some Kobe love, respect, brought him into the family and has kind of made his way to where he's made his way. But to your point, I definitely think he's on the clock. Moving forward, it's like you said, completely new owner. They don't owe him anything. So they'll be looking. I feel like, and I want to know what you think, Rob, because I mean, obviously you were in there too. I mean, I think he's definitely on the clock.
He is on the clock, and I don't think he's going to last past this season. After this season, I think the new ownership is going to sit back, and if they don't go to the finals or make it to the Western Conference Finals, he's out of there. Because you think about, if I'm an owner and I want to come in, I want to put all my people that are loyal to me, all my people that's going to listen to me. So I'm getting rid of everybody. Unless you're someone that has, it's like, let's say, even though he's not in ownership, let's someone like who's Kareem, you can stay around just because you are the Lakers. But everybody else, wash my hands in it. I don't know for sure. I don't know if he did it with the Dodgers, but shit, think about it. The only person he really kept was management. Because he was, Robertson was on the hot seat. If they wouldn't have won it, I guarantee Robertson would have won. And he's that type of guy. He said it himself that he's all about winning. He's going to use every dime, whatever resources he can to win. And sometimes, you ain't winning, so you got to change the starters.
And you also, too, like I said, I mentioned Magic, obviously a part of the group that could possibly move back into a position of power with that. But also Bob Myers. Bob Myers is sitting around waiting for the right situation. And I know for an LA guy and a Bruin such as Bob, who, went and put his fingerprint on a great dynasty in the Bay, I'm sure he would love to have to drive to Staples Center or whatever it's called these days, for work and be paid very handsomely for it too. So I agree with you. I definitely think he's on the hot seat and maybe have unfair expectations too, because I don't think they're going to be a title contender next year. But I mean, that's the standard that this team wants, and that's what the new ownership is striving for. So we will see.
Since you brought up that, we had a little debate last week.
Yeah, we did.
And I said, I cover the Lakers. So I said they are a play-in team. Ooh. And they looked at me like, what? I said, it ain't because they didn't get better. The people around them got a little bit better. You think about the Rockets. You think about, Minnesota. OKC, Denver.
Denver had a great offseason too.
And so people like, it's not a diss to the Lakers. It's just that every team around them got a little bit better than the Lakers got.
Yeah, I would agree. And younger.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, because whether LeBron is the first or second option this year, he's still in his 40s. You know what I mean? I still expect him to be in the mid 20s and across the board statistically. Luka, I feel like Luka's going to have a monster season. That was one thing I said about coming. You can hide all that beef bullshit in other cities. Coming to LA, they're going to point out everything. So he got his ass in shape. He better be playing defense because it's just, and Bob will tell you, it's different out here. But I'm really interested to see, because he has great talent. It's just between his ears what Deandre Ayton can bring, because I think this is a great opportunity for him to revitalize his career. He's a consistent, 18-10 type guy, but he has the skill set too and the body to really, be a 20-10 guy and 2 blocks, his ability to stretch the floor. But it's always been, because I've had friends that played with them in Phoenix, and it was always between his ears. It wasn't the talent. It was just his mentality, and how was he going to act when he gets money has kind of always been the behind the scenes talk about him. But this is a no better opportunity for him to take advantage of this season and kind of put himself back up where he thinks he should be or where he thinks he might be.
Yeah, because one thing that I saw when it came to that deal, most of the time, big men in their prime. He's only 26 years old.
He's a baby still. They
don't become available.
Hell no.
And so you hear a lot of people talking about, Ayton is this, Ayton is that. I said, well, look, new environments can bring out new things when it comes to players, especially guys still that young. You got a guy just got bought out, so he got his money. So now you're signing him for pennies, and he's only 26 years old, same draft class as Luka, pairing them together. What's there to lose?
No, absolutely. To me, it was a great pickup, and it's really just more on him. You know what I mean? I mean, he's a playful, fun spirit guy, and we've seen Shaq come here and do that. But we know one thing: when that ball went up, it was a whole new monster. So can Ayton turn that switch on and to me redeem itself? You know what I mean? I think that we can. It's all safe to say. I'm not sure what the statistical numbers were, but the Portland experiment didn't work. They were sick of him in Phoenix. So again, new environment, new opportunity. The bright lights of LA. Luka, LeBron, what is he going to bring to the table? So again, I'm really excited to see, because I hope it's he reaches his potential.
I think he's going to be a great addition. But the one thing that people don't understand, when you got Luka, you think about all the people Luka played with, he have bigs that are lob threats.
Put it by the rim.
Ayton is not a lob threat. So it's going to be really interesting if they can fix that offense where, it's a pick and pop or it's a drop off and he goes up strong. And I know Luka's a hell of a passer, so I know it'd be easy for him to adjust, but it's just how long would that adjustment take for Ayton?
Yeah.
You think about his last career, I want to pick and pop. Every big now, they want to fucking pop.
Yeah. JJ's going to tell him your big ass got to roll, bro. You know what I mean? I mean, Bob, when we played the pick and pop was something kind of, I'm not sure how far in your career, but it wasn't an everyday thing. But I would always still hear coaches, no matter how good you guys were at shooting, you got to roll sometimes. And you know that you were a great 3-point shooter, but you still had to roll and put pressure on the defense and do things of that nature. So I trust JJ to say what needs to be said, but it definitely, I feel like Ayton is going to have to be more of a rim threat for him to really be effective here. And then that jumper will just be a bonus.
Correct. Yeah.
Now, from obviously they go get Marcus Smart, and which is a heck of a pickup, former defensive player of the year guy who, 30, 31, I think that's where he's around in that age. So, which is a great perimeter defensive pickup, which is something the Lakers have struggled with the last, so many seasons. Do you think they need to go out and get another perimeter defender? How many pieces do you think they are away from really contending in the Western Conference?
I really haven't looked at their team, to be honest with you. I know Marcus Smart. We just haven't seen it in a few years. I mean, he was an instrumental part of Boston, then went to Memphis, and then Boston wins. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then he goes to Washington, and with all due respect, I don't think no one really paid attention to what he was doing over here. So with that, he's still 31. I'm not aware of any real injuries that are hindering him. So I'm looking forward to him being impactful, but he's also small. A lot of these other guys, like these guards, are getting a lot bigger, particularly in the Western Conference. They're monsters out there. So, he's former defensive player of the year. You never want to take that away from him, but I do feel like they do need another 3-and-D piece. I don't really know what's out there for them on the market right now, but it'll be interesting, you know, and one person who I'm a big fan of, and I know he's going to try to hit the open market because he get a lot more is Austin Reeves. And I'm not sure if he's up at the end of this year or the following year, but
it's after this year.
So I think at this point he's a piece now on an expiring contract, and they got him for a great deal to begin with, and I think he wants to see what free agency is, because I know the other teams can give him a lot more than the Lakers can. So I don't think, you know, Rob is going to turn over every stone and really be aggressive, you know, trying to bring this together, because I think he knows he's on the clock, and we obviously know LeBron is on the clock.
To me, it's like I'm floating him out there. Austin.
Got to. Oh, there's no question.
Just because he's going to demand a lot of money. Yes. And people are going to get, we got to get the golden white boy, you know? And I'll throw his ass out there.
Hey, and the golden white boy to be a golden white boy is a killer attribute in our league, boy. So he's going to I feel like he can get a lot of money somewhere else that probably may not be on a winning type team, but he can get north, I think, of 160, 180. You know, they taught the max I think he get is like 240 or something. I don't know if it'll get that high.
He wants 215.
Yeah.
From what I hear, he wants 215.
Hey, go get that 215. Because I think it's like, you know, someone might be, you know, and this is not a knock, someone may give that to him, you know. So it'll be interesting. I definitely think he's always kind of been, without being said, he's kind of almost been an untouchable piece for that team. You know what I mean? They have refused to move him in the past, but again, I think they're on the clock now, understanding what's at stake. And I would be surprised, to be honest with you, if he finished the season as a Laker.
I'd be surprised too, because you think of how many people want him. And
absolutely.
New management's coming like, yo, you know, I know I'm all about spending money, but if I can get two good pieces for him right now to add to Luka, Bron, and Ayton, shit, I'm getting rid of him. And let's be honest, you cannot have Luka, LeBron, and AR on the floor at the same time. You know,
that's hard.
That's hard defensively.
The defensive whole.
Yeah. So, you know, and that's why, to me, we were talking about, if the Lakers going to start this season, if I'm JJ, I'm going to AR to listen, man, your goal this year is to win Sixth Man of the Year. This is your goal.
I'm not mad at that.
I need to come out with either, you know, Smart or Vando, someone who can cut down, can play some defense and cut down that efficiency on offense for somebody. I don't give a shit about the other end of the scoring, because I got Luka, LeBron. You know, we can. So you got to do that. But now people.
That's a good call.
They look at coming off the bench as a disgrace. Manu Ginobili made a fucking living at it. Crawford made a living at it. Ain't nothing wrong with it. If you had in 4 quarter rolls around, it's 3 minutes left to go to the game, and you in the game, that's all that's fucking matter.
Absolutely. To me, it's never been about who starts; it's about who finishes the game. That's who the coach trusts the most. But also, not to. I agree with you, but also I don't know if this younger generation looks at the big picture, and also will coming off the bench hurt his number. Will some team try to, because he's obviously proved that he's a starter in this league. I don't think any of us doubt that. But for this team, I agree. I think his most effective role is he can be a Jamal Crawford type scorer off the bench for this Laker team. But will he mentally buy into that, knowing what is ahead of him this summer?
Yeah, he still, and that's the hard problem. That I look at all these young guys. They say, "Oh, you just start, and I'm not gonna get my money." You know, if you've been putting up numbers, your numbers the same. You're going to get your money, man.
Yeah. I'm not mad at that.
Especially with the salary cap ballooning the way it is, because like when y'all played, $30 million was something. Like Mike, you look at Mike back in the 90s, Mike didn't make $30 million to the back end of his career.
Yeah.
So $30 million back then was some $30 million now. You'd have 7th guy on the bench. You know what I'm saying? You can get your money.
Like 12th guy ain't doing shit.
Unbelievable. But the money is, you know, obviously you don't want to sound old and bitter, and I cheer for these kids to make as much money as possible. But a lot of these kids, I think MJ even said it, that a lot of these kids are getting paid before they really earn that money, before they really put that work in for that money. You see a Shea contract and you deserve that. You see a Luka contract, you deserve that because you know what they've done and what they're going to do. But a lot of these guys that are 7, 8, 9, 10, even 6 sometimes, like, yo, that's crazy.
Yeah. We talked about that, about the money situation. Who you think is going to be the first to eclipse 80? You got Wemby, you got Ant-Man possibly coming up. We know Luka going to re-up after 3 years. Who you think is going to be that first one to touch 80?
I don't know, but I'm cheering for him. and let me hold some. And I don't think
I'm showing up for their signing. I'm just gonna say,
man, how far are we from $100 million a year deals? 3 to 5 years.
3 to 5 years,
probably.
Yeah, guys are gonna be making $100 million base per year. I'm just like, yeah, that's why I got 4 sons, man. God damn it. A couple of them gonna make it, baby. Okay? A couple of them are gonna make it.
hey, Pop said, look, I don't want to work no more. Y'all go ahead and do what y'all need to do.
I'll just sit here and talk about y'all. That's it.
That's all. By the way, speaking of your kids, both you and Rob both have that in common. Youngsters trying to get out there and ball and stuff. I know your son hurt his ankle. Was it his ankle? His foot?
Yeah, he had a bad 3rd-degree high ankle sprain, bone bruise, and crack in his ankle, all from one at that top 100 camp. So unfortunately, he had to miss the whole summer. He missed all AAU. He missed the high school season in June. He's just starting to get back on the court daily. He's not really jumping. He's just getting back to like his mid-range, being able to pull up onto the mid-range. But it was his first real injury. And it was interesting, kind of as a father seeing it, because I had never even had an ankle sprain as bad as his was, and just kind of, keeping his spirits up and letting him know what kind of routine rehab is and how vigorous it is and how serious you have to take. Like, there's no slacking on rehab. No slacking. Even when it starts to feel better, you still got to rehab it. So just kind of really starting to ingrain, like, if you ever want to have a chance to make this next step and this next jump, like this is the grind of it. This is the pretty part that people don't really talk about. So to answer your question, he's getting better. I appreciate that. Isaiah, the other twin, had a really good summer. He was one of the top standouts for 2027 during Peach Jam. So yeah, it's fun. And obviously, get a chance to play against Rob's son the past 2 years as their freshman and sophomore year. I wasn't able to go in the gym last year. I don't know why they're over there tripping at Harvard Westlake, but it's definitely a fun journey, man.
Hey, what's weird? Christian tore his ankle up too, and he missed all of his, summer of the junior year. And I think the biggest key for me was to try to keep his spirits up.
Yes.
He's out there, and they start looking at social media, and they start seeing what their friends are doing. I'm like, dude, don't look at all that stuff.
Run your race.
It's going to send you down a path that you don't want to. So I said, let's just go out here. And he and I, we would just go out there and we just the form shooting, all this kind of stuff. I did everything to try to keep his spirits. I'm like, yo, man, you got this. You're going to your junior year, you be all right. And so, but
same thing, same grade.
And it's hard, man. It's hard on you as a father because you don't know what to do. You're like, shit.
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep his spirits up. I can't take him out here. I can't do this. But
also imagine too, not to cut you off, having a twin brother that's still out there doing his thing. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So it's just like, damn, like in school started talking to Isaiah and offering him, and Carter's just kind of sitting back. Although they offered both of them, Carter wouldn't even really acknowledge it because he knows he wasn't out there grinding. So I appreciated that fact of him. But yeah, to your point, and that's the first thing I mentioned, I got to keep his mental and his spirits high.
When you obviously we know within college sports, even it's creeping over into high school sports now, you talk about the whole NIL aspect of things and how it's pretty much the wild, wild west out there when there's no real regulation to it. As a guy that played in the league and has kids that are moving up through the basketball ranks, what are some of the things that you kind of been teaching them or kind of been putting in their ear when it comes to the money aspect of NIL deals and things of that nature, if you have?
We've been head down and grinding, and thankfully my sons don't need NIL money.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's more just focus on let's continue to get better. Let's chop wood, carry water. And I put my kids on a whole plan. Like, I've been coaching them since I retired. So they were 8 years old. They started off as the best players. Then they kind of fell in the middle of the pack because they didn't train. 13, they started working out, and now they're climbing their way back in. So my whole plan, though, was a step-by-step process. So when we hit our senior year and beyond, when we're supposed to peak, that's when we're going to peak. So I expect this year, between us, I don't even think I've told them, there's been a few situations that approached me, and I just, respectfully, right now we're focused on this and kind of pushed it away. But their junior year, I think some more opportunities will come in. And if it's strategic and it makes sense, we'll probably jump on it, but we have to, realize what the big picture is. And I think that's where a lot of NBA kids have advantages if their dads are around, is we can really paint what that big picture is and understand what's the North Star goal. All this temporary fame on social media and overhyped and double holdbacks and all this other shit that's really messing. Like none of that matters. Like we got to be ready when it counts, and that's where again, not even just with Carter who's hurt, but both twins. It's really always been a mental focus on the big picture. Enjoy the journey. We're gonna have fun, but let's know what's most important if you're gonna even have a shot, because the game is so big now. They got 26-year-olds playing college basketball. Like to me, it's a lot harder now to really kind of get in where you fit in, because the game, there is no regulations because of the transfer portal, because of NIL, and because, and I made a post about this too. Patino going into the tournament said, hey, we're not recruiting no high school kids this year. I don't feel like a high school kid can help him. So on one hand, I understand he's coaching and his job is to win, but on the other hand, I'm like, what the fuck? The college is supposed to be for teenage boys to try to, get better and turn into men, and then hopefully live their dreams in the pros. So it's so ass backwards right now. We always fought and asked for money, so we have to be careful what we ask for. But I definitely feel like there need to be some regulations on the money. There need to be regulations on how much you can transfer, and there has to be a cap. Like I think 24 that's 6 years you've been removed from high school. If you haven't figured that shit out by now, with all due respect, bro, get your degree and keep it moving. You know what I mean? So I think they need a cap on this.
I say the same thing, man. I'm 100% behind you. That's my biggest pet peeve is that now you got these double holdbacks, and all of a sudden now if they implement that rule where you can go to junior college and doesn't count as 4 years of college,
crazy.
Like,
you can come in at 20. You can come into college at 20 and then get a red shirt. And
to me, the only time I would accept that, I think it was Winky or someone went off to the Army.
Yep.
Did like 4 years in the Army. You serve your country, you do the fuck you want to do. Then you went to college. I'm good with that. But a dude going to JUCO, and then so I got 4 years of college. But my biggest pet peeve is you take my boy Roach last year. He spent 4 years at Duke, and then he said, "Okay, I'm gonna be a graduate and go play 1 year at Baylor."
Baylor, yeah, he did.
Baylor. Dude, no, that's just so wrong, man. It's like it's time for someone else, man. If you went
had
to Duke,
your chance,
and in 4 years you didn't make it to the next level, you think now the NBA gonna take you? No, the NBA all about if you 21, NBA scratching your head like, damn, that motherfucker old. Do we really want to draft him?
They don't. It's few and far between kids that are a little, 22. I mean, I think Kenneth from the Lakers, I want to say he was, you know what I mean? But I mean, they're few and far between. But on the flip side, again, I agree with you 1,000%, but I don't blame the kids, because we know 99% of these kids aren't going pro. So if I can go steal one more year at another school and get paid for it, I'm gonna definitely take that. So when I say I don't like this shit, I don't mind the kids doing it because they're allowed to do it. But I think there needs to be some regulations and understanding it. To your point, man, everyone is a window. If you unfortunately we get hurt in the pros. I mean, it takes a lot of luck to make it. And if you're unlucky and get hurt, I mean, damn, sometimes it is what it is. But I definitely think it's a lot harder for incoming freshmen to, you're going to have to use D2, as kind of a JUCO situation or go to a prep school. So instead of just understanding, hey, I'm going to do my 4 years in high school and then I'm going to get an opportunity if I'm good enough to go to a Power 5. But, there's just so many older kids that are men now. There's some teams were older than the Oklahoma City Thunder that won the NBA title. These teams are in college still. Yeah. So I'm just like, man, the system is broken. So I hope, somehow, some way, someone makes some sense of it.
No, the weird part, we had a kid that goes with the Harvard Westlake, had no college offers. He went to a prep school. Now he got like 6 offers to D1 schools. I'm like, why do you have to go to a prep school? Just bring the kid in, redshirt him. Now you teaching him your system. He's getting to understand you, and then go from there. Why does he have to go to a prep school?
They're not taking those chances no more. You don't get to grow. And I think, to be honest with you, this is again bigger picture. That's to me why the NBA sometimes loses view, because you don't understand there's no journey. There's no storyline with these kids. They're bouncing around from school to school. You know what I mean? From when we came in the league, you were able to follow, or, you were able to follow Rob where he was at. You were able to follow me and all these guys. And we kind of had a little bit of, aura coming behind us. But these kids now are so young, coming from over the water, bouncing around from school to school. Like there's no real storyline with these kids coming into the league.
Yeah, that's true.
Very true. Well, listen, Matt, before we let you go, bring us up to speed on all the smoke. Are you guys filming new shows? I mean, you guys working on the show?
Man, we've been cooking. You know, we launched All the Smoke Productions the top of last year. We signed a great deal with DraftKings to build a whole entire company. So now I want to say we have about 6 or 7 shows. We're launching All the Smoke NFL. We have All the Smoke Boxing. We have All the Smoke MMA. We were able to take the archive. So when I launched our company, or when I started thinking of the idea of our company, this is when Paramount was about to come and buy Showtime, and we didn't know what they were going to do, but they ended up chopping their sports side. So, you know, we started this company. I was able to take the number 2 in charge over there who took a chance on us at Showtime, brought him into my company. We started this company together, and he was able to get the archives from Showtime Boxing. So we were able to get a built-in 10 million follower, all the socials, all the archives, all that stuff came to All the Smoke Fights. So now we have Andre Ward running that and Roy Jones with him. We're about to make an announcement on who is, I'm sure this won't come out in the next 2 days before we make the announcement, but Shady McCoy will be running our football side, and then we have the MMA side. And we're looking to do a new deal with we're pitching. We did some stuff with MLB for their all-star stuff, so we're going to pitch some stuff to him. So we're hoping to be vertical in, you know, all the major sports. We're into docs and scripted and non-scripted now too, man. So within, you know, a year and a half, the whole entire company has just, you know, been on fire. We have a partnership with Netflix, so it's been an amazing race. And then obviously the flagship show, All the Smoke, we just continue to, you know, try to up the game. You know, we were one of the first ones in this space, and you see so many other people in it now, and I absolutely love it. Like, some people try to look at this competition. I feel like all of us have a unique journey and perspective and things we've been able to, you know, be fortunate enough to see. So I just think, because I'm a fan now, and as a fan, I want to hear from Rob. I don't want to hear, as great as Stephen A. Smith is, Stephen A. Smith has never done it. I want to hear what Rob has to say about this shit. So again, that's why I love all the just diversity in this space. And not only just in basketball, across the board, there's podcasts everywhere now. So, you know, really happy about that. But again, with that said, we still want to be as good as we can be. We've tapped into Major League Baseball and got a good response. We had a chance to sit down with Michelle Obama last week. So we have that interview coming too, man. So we're just, you know, we're really trying to continue to, you know, push the bar and continue to motivate and inspire and tell good stories.
So with Michelle being there, did you have to put it away?
But what the smoke? We poked around a little bit about, like, this is all that, you know what I mean. But you know, to be honest, she was amazing, man. So down to earth, great spirit, great energy. Kind of missed the way she carried herself and spoke, you know, considering what's going on in this crazy country right now. But you know, we had a really good time sitting down with her, and I'm excited for, you know, the world to see, you know, the interview we did with her and her brother.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Because you always have great guests, man. You know, and I appreciate you let me come on your show. I really appreciate it.
Nah, come on. But you're one of my favorite, man. I mean, to me, and you're one of the guys that sacrificed so much of your game to fit in a team concept, but you're rewarded for it, and you earned it, and all you did for this game. And I heard you saying earlier, like, as good as you were considered, with all due respect, a role player. But you were a huge fucking piece of all those teams that won. And like you said, you can't be top heavy with just 2 guys. The rest of the team has to be able to fall in line and carry their weight. And you were one of the best to ever do it when it comes to that, man. So again, it was an honor to have you on the show and be on your show.
Dude, I appreciate you, brother.
No doubt.
Do. All right.
We appreciate you, Matt. We're gonna
appreciate
tell
you,
the
Matt.
boys to keep grinding and keep your heads up, man.
No doubt. We on it.
Yeah, they are. I'm glad Matt was able to just kind of take us behind the curtain and reveal a lot of that they have going on. And I'm not surprised. Ever since that show has you know, come about, they've really been growing. Like, they have really, really, really been growing. So they, you know, salute to All the Smoke and everybody over there, you know, for doing their thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's something about smoke.
Tell you, man.
Brings them out. Bring them out.
Bring them out. Bring them out. All right, let's just do a couple more quick topics, and we'll do Big Shot of the Week, and we'll call it. I was going to do Black Crime or White Crime with Matt, but we ran long. we went super long. I didn't want to steal him for any more time, but so we'll have to circle back another day for the game. But I did want to bring up briefly and just get your take.
No game today?
Well, it was Black Crime or White Crime. Oh. You want to play the 5 I had? We'll play the 5 we had. That's okay. We'll play it. We'll play it without Matt, but that's cool. My question for you, one of these things I saw up, and there's a couple things in here. The Kuminga situation has not gotten any better since last we talked, and I think we were all like, oh, this is going to probably... Nope, it's still just kind of sitting there. And the craziest thing about it is the Kings, I guess, have been like pushing. Like the Kings have like, look, we're making you offers. The Kings offered, according to sources, a 3-year, $63 million deal for him in a proposal that would have sent Malik Monk and their 2030 first-round pick to the Warriors. And the Warriors rejected it.
Shit, I mean, like, take that deal, Malik Monk.
and I guess their hope is they're gonna get this square and he's gonna resign. But like, whenever you have one of these situations, it was like Jimmy Butler in Miami. What are you keeping here? Obviously, there's bad blood. There's ill will here somewhere. Like you said it last week, Rob. He's probably not too thrilled with the way Steve Kerr treated him. Yeah, so what's the? I mean, he might be a great player. He might be a good piece, but what are you gonna get from him?
You're gonna get. I know he ain't gonna get punched like Poole did, but you're gonna get a disgruntled employee.
Yeah.
Even though he got his money, he's still gonna be like not happy with Steve Kerr because there's gonna be a situation. Because we know Steve. Steve's gonna be like, just because you got paid, I'm not gonna force me to play you. I ain't gotta play you. Right. And at the end of the day, a lot of guys they just want to fucking play, and I think that's him. He wants to be out there and play and show what he can do. So I don't see that situation getting any better, man. If he ain't signed by now, he ain't gonna sign.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
And if the Kings do get him, if they manage to pull this together, and then the other piece of this is there's rumors they might sign Westbrook. So if you get Kuminga, Westbrook, DeRozan, Zach LaVine, Sabonis, all on that Kings roster together, do the Kings maybe suddenly start to creep up in your Harper's immediately
because
going,
if we're talking about
Harper's no chance.
No, because I think if we're talking about how the West is too crowded for the Lakers, how crowded do you think it is for the Kings?
I just said, do they creep up? I didn't say, are they a play-in team or a playoff team?
Yeah, they just
but
stick their head above the water for a little bit of air and then go right back under.
Okay.
I say this, they will be in the playoffs. If they get Kuminga and I think they will be in the playoffs. Playing playoffs, that's the same thing to me. They won't be finished at the bottom of the barrel like they did because if you look at their season last year, they got a good team. I think Keegan Murray had an awful year, and he's vital to that team. Malik Monk got hurt down the stretch. Now they got Dennis Schroeder. They got a good little team over there. So, and let's be honest, Sabonis is one of the best centers in the game. So, he's
underrated.
Very.
Yeah, you got, I don't know what kind of system Doug Chris is going to run over there, but this freaking team, it's going to be one of those, it reminds me of one of those little San Antonio teams where, damn, they won again? And they say, look in the freaking winning column, they got 50 wins, and they like in the playoffs, and because they went, unassuming. So I don't, you think about this team, you look at the players they got some hoopers over there, so don't underestimate them now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you ever underestimate because you just never know how a season will go because sports is always about attrition. You don't know who gets hurt. You don't know what surprise. No one thought Cleveland would be number one in the East last year.
And they destroyed everybody, yeah.
You thought Cleveland was going to be number one in the East?
I did.
Do we have that on wax? Do we have that on?
I don't know. I'm going to have to go back to the archive and look for that. Where you called that before the season.
Yeah, I don't remember that one.
They'll be number one again this year.
Okay.
We'll mark that one.
Yeah, cool. We'll mark that one.
So when they finish 8th, we'll be like,
but it means a little more before they actually do it, which was last year. You know what I'm saying? I don't remember saying that.
I didn't say it. I'm just
I was going to say.
I did say they'll be top four team. I ain't say top number one.
He bringing the conversation that he has with himself onto the podcast. I think
I was thinking to myself.
I was thinking.
Hey, don't make me go find that sheet of paper where we had them all ranked.
No, let's not bring up old shit. I don't need to bring up old shit. We're good. Appreciate you. All right, and then the last thing I had on this topic was, and we're gonna kick this to shoot around. Joel Embiid. This showed up on my feed this week, and it was a question. So I guess Brett Siegel had a thing about his knee health and going into the season. We know this is none of this is news, but I guess my question off of it was, and his question was, if he is hurt. Sincerely hurt again this year and just can't really seem to get off the ground again. At what point do we just go, that's probably it for him? Is it this season?
Oh, they just look, I've been done with Joel Embiid.
No, I know. As a collective fan base, I'm sure a lot of people are, but I mean as a career, does he go, all right, look, this just isn't getting any better?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've been there.
Is it just this season, though, for him? Like, if he can't get off the ground this season, that's got to be it, right? Just hang him up.
Well, I don't think you hang it up, because he's 31 years old. I know that's probably like on the downside of that hill, but you think about it. He sits out a year, gets really healthy. You have to take a chance on him if you're a team. You have to, because you don't have that many centers. And I know you'll say, well,
yeah,
but that's why you put clauses in that contract. If you don't play X amount of games, you don't get paid. And so I think he's a generational talent. Let's be honest. And no, he's been hurt a lot.
When he's healthy, yes, but he's missed half his career.
Yeah,
he's a generational lemon too.
Lemon law.
Like,
that's what I'm saying. That's what you put it in the contract. You got a lemon law.
You got a lemon law in the contract. The Joel Embiid lemon law. I love it.
It just doesn't get like. It's one thing for a player to be on the other side of that slope, but he been moving down his slope. That's been fast. That's been a fast moving downhill type of thing.
It's been there since he came into the league. So
yeah, you're right.
Yeah, no, it's just. But I mean, I start to hit this point though, and it's like, yes, I know that we don't really have any expectation for him, but at some point, for yourself, you got to go. All right, that's. I think I'm good, because all you're gonna be doing is like you said, Rob. You're gonna come in somewhere where you're gonna have to sign some crazy ass deal with all these provisions and all these little negotiations in there, and you're not gonna be able to hit them. You're not gonna play for nothing.
Yeah, it's just I don't.
It's tough.
There's every season you're gonna go into it with Joel not playing. He comes back for a little bit. There's some issue of some degree. Hey, we want to shut him down because we want to preserve the rest of his career. But at some point in time, you're losing your career trying to preserve your career. You're not getting any younger, and your elements tell you. Forget you being 31. Your elements tell you that you're 40.
Yeah, every bit of it.
So I mean,
and sliding.
What are we preserving? At some point, you just got to read the writing on the wall, and everybody got to look at themselves in the mirror and say, you know what, this ain't it. Yeah. This ain't it.
Yeah, it isn't. All right, let's do a quick big shot of the week, and then we'll black crime or white crime with the 5 questions that Steven Jackson got right when he was on the show. I was going to do with Matt Barnes. We'll do them real quick with you guys.
We already did them, so don't worry. We passed that one.
All right, and it was when Steven Jackson was on. We did black crime or white crime. So I was going to hit Matt with all the questions that Steven got right and see if he could get them right too. But we ran super long with Matt, so we ran out of time. So let's just wrap it up with big shot of the week then. Is going to go to a YouTuber named Ryan Trahan. Here's why. Him and his wife did this really cool, like 50 states in 50 days type thing on YouTube, and they did it to raise money for St. Jude's Children's Hospital. So they were putting out all this content to try and get eyes on the channel and raise some money. And every state they went to, they had to find like a really crazy and unique Airbnb to stay in for the night. So they booked 50 around the whole country, and they did 50 states in 50 days at 50 of like the craziest Airbnbs you'll ever see. And when it was all said and done, they raised $11.2 million for St. Jude's Children's Hospital, just doing this YouTube bit. 6-figure donations were made by companies like Airbnb, Shopify, Dollar Shave Club, T-Mobile, and philanthropic gifts were made by fellow YouTubers like Mr. Beast, who is, we know, loaded.
Yeah, Mr. Beast everywhere.
But I mean, the fact that they did this and they tried to raise money for St. Jude's and they managed to pull together $11 million on a YouTube bit, I thought was just big shot worthy. That's really, really cool.
Yeah, absolutely.